we have started the month of Kislev. If there is any month that we can enter into a quantum field, it's month of Kislev. If there is any month that we can enter into a realm of the unknown, into the realm of light, and what this light is for us, does for us, and we do for it, is the month of Kislev. So we have to know, so I want to paint a picture, and it's a little bit of it's not a difficult subject to talk about, it's an amazing subject to talk about, but I hope I can hold you, and I hope that you can be with me until we get to the end of the lecture, and I hope that with this you can take with you and infuse yourselves, infuse your families, infuse your life with the light that there already exists. So from Rosh Hashanah, a whole new level of light enters into this world, enters into the universe that never existed before. This light, or I should say never existed through the existence of the physical world. It always existed, but not through the existence of the physical world. This comes to know from beginning of Rosh Hashanah till the end of Elul of the year, until we get to the next Rosh Hashanah, this light that was infused into the world starts opening up one by one, through the months. Through the 12 months, it starts opening up. There is a law within the universe that God created it just so, and He knows why He created it so, but there is a law that first there is an infusion and then there is a retraction. First there is an infusion and then there is a retraction. And we see it within everything in life. We see it within our heartbeats. It beats open and close, open and close. We see it within our breath, in and out, in and out. We see it within the seasons. There is the light of the summer, and then there is the going back of the winter. So we see it in movement. There is 1 foot forth, 1 foot back. So there is in movement. There is in within the waves of the ocean, within the movement of the moon around the sun. It closes, it opens. There is the light that goes out. There is the full moon. Again, there is the light that goes out, and then there is the full moon. So there is this dance within the universe of this infusion of light, and then retraction. Infusion and retraction. We have the month of Tishrei, month of Rosh Hashanah, huge influx of light. Huge, tremendous influx of light. We have the month of Cheshvan, complete retraction. There is nothing. Complete retraction. We have the month of Kislev. It is the blend of Rosh Hashanah and the emptiness of Cheshvan. You have Kislev. And I want to show you this trend plays itself out through the months. You have Tevet, which is after Kislev. You have Tevet, retraction. You have Shvat, that is infusion. You have Adar, which is the combination of both. You have the joy of Adar. Again, Nisan, you have infusion. You have Iyar, retraction. You have Sivan, again, it's when the Torah is given. There is a blend of these 2 months. So there is this infusion, there is retraction, and there is the harmony that comes from this infusion, retraction, make it a light that is tangible to us. And so therefore, we have a name for this. We say light and dark. We say it's a month of light, it's a month of emptiness. And we have this playing out in our lives as well. We have periods that is full of light, full of blessings. It's revealed, we see it, it's present. And then there are periods that are retracted. It's empty, we can't see it. But now we see that this is in order to harmonize, in order to bring together, in order to make the light part of the fabric of who we are. So we have the word Kislev itself is Kislev. Kes is a vessel for Lev. Lev is number 36. So what is this 36? There are many things that allude to this number 36. There are 36 Tzaddikim that needs to be in the world at all times, otherwise the world would falter. They call them hidden Tzaddikim. We don't know who they are, but they are within the world, and every generation has them. 36 is also the light that was created in the beginning of creation. It was here for 36 hours, and then it was hidden. Where is it hidden? Where is this light hidden?
Within us?
Gan Eden, yes. What else?
Within the universe?
Within the universe, yes.
Within us.
Within us, yes. So this light is hidden in the Torah, Bet HaMikdash. Eventually, yes. It's hidden, and it needs to be revealed. Where is it hidden? It's in the Torah. It's in. It's deep within our hearts.
Neshama. Within the neshama?
No, 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 no. It's a
whole world.
yes, yes. It's within the universe, and it is our job. It is our mission. It is our purpose to extract this light within our lives. It is for us to extract this hidden light from our lives. But we need a vessel for it. Kislev is Kislev, the vessel of this hidden light. It's the vessel for this hidden light. The month of Kislev itself is where it becomes apparent, where this hidden light becomes apparent through Hanukkah. And I go into it in a little bit. But the whole month of Kislev is where this hidden light comes out, it becomes apparent. And then it will carry it until the next Kislev. It is the light that we can tap into, that was infused beginning of Rosh Hashanah. It's the light that we can tap into and carry it with us until the next Kislev. But we need a vessel for it. A little cup holds this much. If we have electricity of 110, if we put more electricity into it, it's flat out. It burns everything out. It can't hold it. The same is true with us. We will burn out. If we can't hold it, if we don't have the proper equipment, we will burn out. And we can't hold it. That's why we don't have the light continuously infused within us because we will burn out. We can't hold it. It's not possible. But what we can do is that through our consciousness, through our awareness, through the choices we make this vessel bigger and bigger and bigger, so that there is more light that can be held, and that this light not only held, what good is it if I hold a light? The light bulb is good because it holds the light, but it also gives off light. And so therefore, I not only become the holder of light, but I become the broadcaster of light. It serves two purposes. The vessel that becomes bigger is able to hold the light, but the light cannot be held for itself, for its own sake. It just can't. It's not possible. The light gives off light, however, it's also the broadcaster of light. And so, what is the equipment that we need in order to make this vessel bigger? And that's really the purpose of this class. Or sharing, really, not a class. What is the vessel that we require in order to make our vessel bigger, in order to make our cup bigger, in order that instead of 110, we are 220. Is there 330? I don't know. But we'll make it. What are the ingredients that we need?
Action.
Action, awareness, sharing,
Chesed.
chesed. With chesed, with action, with sharing, all of them correct. However, first we need to build a vessel. How do we build this vessel so that we are able to give? How do we build this
Self-care.
so that we are able to broadcast it out?
Desire.
Self-care.
Self-care,
Knowledge.
knowledge,
Belief.
beliefs,
Being willing to receive.
being able to receive,
As much as we learn Torah, our vessel getting bigger.
learning Torah. Anybody else?
Giving.
Giving. Who said emunah? Emunah. What else?
Kindness.
Kindness,
Love.
love,
Humility.
humility, gratitude, expansion. The first ingredient here, which is given to us through the month of Kislev, and through the, every month has a sense, through the sense of Kislev, through the sign of Kislev, everything is right here. Everything is within the month itself. And the month itself gives us the tools that we need in order to make this vessel. So the first ingredient, the month of Kislev, the sense for the month of Kislev is the sense of sleep. 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 I'm not saying go to sleep, but
You can say it. That's not bad.
you can go to sleep if you wish.
You see, everyone's missing us. Everyone misses sleep, right? It's one of the biggest conditions.
Sleep is very interesting. There is a very interesting dynamic with sleep. We sleep 1/3 of our life. We sleep.
If we're lucky.
If we are lucky. If we are lucky, 1/3 of our life we sleep.
If you can dream it,
Sleep, what is it?
if you can dream it, you can build it.
If you can dream it, you can. Actually, this month is associated with dreams. So, okay, so sleep has a very interesting dynamic to it. Because we are sleeping, and yet it's being there is a certain cleaning that's being taken place. There is a certain rejuvenation that's being taken place. There is a certain renewal that's being taken place. So we sleep in order to be renewed. However, if we are busy in our mind, we can't sleep. So the ingredient that comes prior to sleeping is the sense, the quality of neshama, the quality of the soul that needs to be aroused in order to have a good sleep is trust. Trust, bitachon, which is a level higher than faith. Trust in Hashem. Because I'll tell you in a second. Because if you trust that all is well by my soul, that Hashem has it, that I am in His hands. And the month of Kislev is two trusts. There is an active trust. There is an active trust that brings me to sleep. And there is an active trust that brings me to action. So there's a passive trust that I go to sleep. It's passive. I trust you, Hashem. You just take care of it. But there is also an active trust that says, I go out there and you just bless my goings. You just bless my goings and my comings, and I know that wherever I'm going to put my feet on, you're going to help me. You're going to be with me. You're going to help me. You're going to bless it. That's trust. And so there is an active trust and a passive trust that's within the month of Kislev. So the first ingredient to have for building of the vessel is trust. What's the difference between faith and trust? Trust is a level deeper than faith. Faith is, I have faith that Hashem is here, and there is Hashem, and there is God, and God knows it all. Trust is when I know that Hashem is involved with every step that I take. That's trust. Trust is that I know that everything that has happened in my life, Hashem knows, and there is a I don't want to say a reason, but there is a background map that I am not aware of and I can never be aware of. And so there is a map that for all of us, individually, as we pertain to ourselves and as we pertain to the whole community, first our own community, our own family, our bigger community, the circle goes out further and further, but each one of us plays a significant role, and the darkness that happens, that comes within our life, it's playing within this bigger map that I have no awareness of, but I trust that all is well. All is well. I don't know if I'll be okay, but I trust that all is well, and all is well by my soul. My soul is okay. All is well by my soul.
Adonai Roi V'lo Yira. God is my shepherd. God is watching me, and I'm not scared. So if you
That's
give
the
you that
trust.
power.
That's the trust. And that's the trust of Hashmonaim. That's the trust of Hanukkah, the war of Hanukkah. Up to this point, go back 200 years. So first there is Purim, by the way. First is the holiday, it's the events of the Purim that happened, and I believe 200 years or 300 years later, it's Hanukkah. It's the events of Hanukkah. Hanukkah happened at a time when the Romans had invaded Israel and invaded Jerusalem. And they had erected idols everywhere. They had taken over the temple. They had taken over Bet HaMikdash. They had erected idols within Bet HaMikdash. They would sacrifice pigs because they knew pigs for us is desecration. So whatever they could do in order to desecrate, they desecrated. And the Roman army was a huge army, and up to 200 years ago, there were prophets. There were prophets that the prophets would say, do this, do that. Hashem wants us to do this now. Hashem tells us to do that now. And at this point in history, there are no prophets. Comes the Hashmonaim, the head of them, the rabbi. These were Kohanim, by the way. And they are rabbis. They are Kohanim. But they say, let's go to war. Imagine. Yes. Yes. They were Kohanim. And these were not. Yes. And these were not people of war. They were not soldiers. But they had tremendous amount of faith. And there was a very, very small number of them saying, let's go war with the Romans. Let's go to war with the Romans. How? What? No worries. We're going to gather up the people and we're going to go to war. With what? With what army? With what warfare? No worries. We're going to go to war. And they won. This is the kind of faith. This is the kind of trust that we are talking about. They built a vessel. They built a vessel so that this light can enter through. And this is the trust that when everything is against the odds, that it looks absolutely impossible, that it looks that there is no other way, that all the logic within our head, all the reasoning within our head says otherwise. It says, are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? You actually think you're able to do that? And the voices of your head stop you from moving forward, from taking that step. This is when trust comes in. When you go against logic, when you go against all the reasonings that's around you, and you say, no, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go forward. That's building a vessel. And you take action. Somebody said action. Mm-hmm. You take action. It's a trust that's infused with action. And so it's telling us that there is no darkness. There is no darkness that does not have a purpose. Every darkness is not only to be infused with light, but it's to be weaved with the light so that something else comes out of it, so that it's supportable, so that it stays. The light of Kislev stays, and it's year after year after year. The light that gets infused and gets retracted is a light that does not stay. The light of Rosh Hashanah, where is it? We went all those salichut, we had all that inspiration. Where is it? What happened to all those inspirations we had?
There is.
Where?
It's the vessel that we made bigger.
It went through the darkness of Cheshvan. It needs to be processed. It needs to be made ours. It needs to be made your own. It doesn't become your own until you actually step into it. It doesn't become, look, we can say, for example, I'm a really forgiving person. If you haven't forgiven anybody yet, or if you haven't been hurt in your life ever, and thank God everybody has been great around you and you haven't needed to forgive anyone, to say I'm a forgiving person, you don't own it. We can't own that thing which which is an idea. The idea is great, but we can't own it until we haven't walked into it. We can't own it until we haven't stepped into it.
So does that mean that we can't trust about faith unless we're tested?
I wouldn't call it a test. I would call it when we go through the valleys and the peaks of our lives, through the journey of our life, as we are presented to it, how we are stepping into it, how we are stepping forward. Where is that trust? That's the first vessel. That's what keeps the vessel from expand. It makes the vessel to expand, to trust, and to go forth with a commitment and conviction and courage. And these are the three things that we all need: courage, conviction, commitment. And until we are not committed to it, it can be an idea. Great. I have all these amazing ideas. I do, by the way. But it doesn't go through.
But it all presents itself from the back with an action. Once again,
Yes.
that's the point.
Yes.
You have
Action.
to be action.
Commitment. Action. Commitment that's showing itself through action. Conviction that it's showing itself through action. Courage that it's showing itself through action. We have to know that this light is a light that's not touchable until we do something with it, until we form it. Rosh Chodesh Kislev is when Hashem showed the rainbow to Noah. After Noah having been through the flood and having been on water for a whole year, after having sent 3 birds out to know if there is land, and so finally he comes out a year after. And Rosh Chodesh Kislev is the day that Hashem shows Noah the rainbow. What is the rainbow? Hope. No, but what is it?
Light. It's light.
What is it? What?
Is a drop of rain that ray of sun goes through it and it's divided to 7 different colors. And it's combination of that.
It's colors, right? It's colors. But is it the colors? Is it from a light that wasn't there?
It was there.
It was there. It was
hidden.
always there.
It's hidden.
But it was hidden. The light was always there. But it's this combination of water and combination of light that comes together, and it separates it. And it gives it the reflection to our eyes as the 7 bands of light. This is who we are. Each one of us, through our vessel, we give off a different band of light. From a light that's already there, but you can't see it. You can't really touch it. You can't feel it, but it's already there. And so we become the rainbow. We are the rainbow. Each one of us is part of this rainbow. But it's this interaction with the universe. It's this interaction with the dark. It's this interaction with those periods of our time that is contracted, that is retracted, that gives off this band of light. And so the month of Kislev, the vessel for the 36. 36 is also the word for Ayeka. Where are you? Which is where when yes when no when no when Hashem asks Adam, after having eaten the apple, where are you? Where are you, Ayeka? Where is your hidden light? Where are you? Where is your light? Kislev is the vessel for 36. Where is your light? Where is it being shown? Where are you broadcasting it? First, it needs to be within you so that it can go out. But where is it? And so the where is it is I build it through trust. I trust life. I trust the map. Even though I don't know what it is, where it is, I do not have the picture. I will never have the bigger picture. If I think I do, then that's my ego talking. We will never ever know the bigger picture. We can never ever say that this happened, so this happened. No, we don't know. We have no idea. We just know it happened. And we know that whatever it was, maybe it was dark, maybe it was light, but whatever happened, happened. And it is this broader picture that I can absolutely no how know what this broader picture is. But to trust it that there is, and to trust life, to trust the hand that is in our life. The sign for this month is the bow and arrow. By the way, Keshet is the bow, and also Keshet is the rainbow. Yeah, right, the same. And if you look at the rainbow, it looks like a bow, except it's in the sky. So what is this?
Expansion.
Aiming, action,
Stretch.
stretch. What is it? Exactly, you're retracting. You're taking back. In order for it to go forward, it has to go back, and there has to be the focus. But then when you let it go, you trust that it's going to land where it needs to land. So you have to have the action. You have to retract it. You have to focus. You have to have your aim. You have to have your goal. But then when you let it go, you have to know that you have to trust it. You have to trust that it's going to land where it needs to land.
If it didn't?
You have to trust that too. You have to trust that too.
There's a purpose.
You have to trust that too. And if it didn't, you have to trust that too.
That's when you go back to Hashem and believe that He knows better than you do.
Right.
And you take your ego and your own agenda out of the scenario. Because what do you really control? You think you do, but I don't think you control. I don't believe we control much. You know, we have action to take daily to grow into hopefully being that light. That's our job. But we don't have the control of what the next second's going to deliver. So do you have trust in that? You do if
We
you
have to.
Exactly.
We have to have
Exactly.
We have to have trust in that.
That's beautiful. Yasher koach.
Wait, let me just finish my thoughts before the question. Sorry, because I need to I need to bring everything together. You need to go home, Sarah? Sorry. So Hanukkah is the 25th of Kislev. Two things happened on, first of all, 25th of Kislev is when we were in the desert and we were building the Mishkan. The Mishkan finished actually on 25th of Kislev, but it was not inaugurated until 1st of Nisan. And so Hashem honored that day by, Hanukkah means dedication, to rededicate the temple on 25th of Kislev, about 1,000 years later. So that day, so two ideas here. Number one, when something happens of great magnitude, or when we do something of great magnitude, if we don't see the result right then and there, it doesn't mean that it's gone to waste. All it means is that the time for it to be shown has not arrived yet. Nothing ever gets lost. Nothing ever gets lost. Everything stays within the workings of the universe. But for this, it took 1,000 years later until it was dedicated. But it was dedicated. Not only that, we don't have the Mishkan. We don't have the Mishkan. The Mishkan is not with us. But the light of the Hanukkah that came as a result of this rededication, we still have it. We still have the light of Hanukkah. Because it came from a light that was struggled with great amount of darkness. It was a light that was struggled with great amount of conflict. It was a light that there was a lot of negativity within it, but it was a light that eventually came out. And a light that has been coming out of darkness is a light that always stays because it's yours, you own it. And it never ever goes away. A light that has been infused into the darkness and has struggled within the darkness and comes out as light is a light that never ever goes out, as it's shown to us from the light of Hanukkah. Mishkan was a gift from Hashem. Everything that happened in the desert was a gift from Hashem. It was just infusion of great amount of light, infusion of miracles, infusion of Hashem's presence, infusion of, we had Moshe, just infusion of tremendous amount of knowing within ourselves, and the knowing that was just around us, the unity that was created, and we just knew. But it was a gift. It didn't become ours until, guess when? Until when? This whole, the Torah did not really become ours. We did not really become Jewish until when? I mean, we are always Jewish, but we didn't really own it until when? Purim. We didn't own it until Purim. It was just given to us. We took it as granted that we're always going to have Bet HaMikdash, that it's always going to be there. Imagine a building of such magnitude for that time, of tremendous magnitude, is there for 400 years. It would not even cross our minds that it's possible that we might lose it. Until we lost it, until we were in exile, until we were challenged, until they wanted to challenge us and chas v'shalom let us, we did not own it. Until we don't own it, it's not ours. And that's why we go through all these ups and downs. We must own it. We can't say, I am light, which we are, but we have to own it. It needs to be owned by us. We need to step into it. We need to live it. We need to act it. We need to have the courage to be it. It takes courage to be light. It takes courage to be out there. It takes courage to put yourself out there. It takes courage to do the right thing when most of the people are doing the wrong thing. And I don't mean, I just mean the world as a whole. It takes courage to be a vessel of light. And it doesn't always come easy, because it comes with a lot of struggle. It comes with the struggle of should I, shouldn't I, could I, couldn't I? Am I going to be successful? Am I going to do it? Am I, no. All these voices come and go and come and go. And then comes the 25th of Kislev. One crucible of oil. That's all we need. One crucible of oil. Amongst this whole white temple, huge temple, they looked for and they found, but they had to search for it because everything was defiled. All the oil was defiled. The seal of the Kohen was broken. They needed to search and search and search. One crucible of oil. So why do we celebrate it burned for 8 nights? But why do we celebrate the first night? Because the first night it wasn't a miracle. The first night they found the oil. So we should the miracle is really a miracle of 7 days or 7 nights. Why do we celebrate for 8 nights? Where is the miracle in the first night?
Trust that it will work.
They searched. They didn't give up on the searching. That in itself is the miracle. And so here we see that the miracle happened because of the searching. Because of looking through that dark hole. Because even though everybody said it's not possible, even though 300 men versus thousands and thousands of men, it didn't look possible for them to overtake the temple. Just didn't look possible. They did it. They didn't even give up there. They looked for the oil in order to rededicate the temple. So the searching itself is the miracle. When we don't give up the searching within ourselves, when the light sometimes seems extinguished within us because of everything else that's covering us, or the circumstances, or whatever it might be, the searching itself is part of the miracle.
Don't take those words very simple. These are very simple words, but the meaning is much more important than that. Searching is a miracle. اینا رو خیلی ساده نگیریم تون پول سر هم میدیم. کلاکاوود.
Right? So the searching itself, that's why we celebrated 8 nights.
And the sun just came out.
The sun just came out. Because the first night itself is the miracle. It's the miracle of looking and not giving up and having courage to look and having conviction and having commitment and acting upon it. That's the miracle itself. And then God says, you do your part, I promise I will do mine. You search within that darkness, I promise I won't fail you. And even though sometimes it looks like God is failing us, trusting that the further searching, the deeper searching, trusting that something will open up. And not only will it burn for another day and another day and another day, but for 8 nights. And 8 represents the idea of eternity. A light that has been challenged with darkness and comes out as light is a light that's always here, eternity. It's for eternity. And we have to know also within ourselves that for whatever that we step into, whatever courage that we step forth into, whatever the vessel that we make grow, the light that we are able to hold and broadcast, even though the odds are against it, it is a light that never, ever, ever, ever disappears. It's an eternal light. And that is exactly what Hashem wants from us. It is that partnership that we have together. That even though it's the darkness, because of this expansion and retraction, because of this breath in and out, because of this heartbeat in and out, sometimes we are in the heartbeat that's out, and sometimes we are in the heartbeat that's in. Trusting that this rhythm is part of all of it. There is nothing that's separated from it, and there is nothing that's wrong here. And to be able to move with tremendous amount of trust and faith. I just want to say something also very quickly. It is a month of dreams. This month is connected to dreams. If we are able to sleep, we are also able to dream. But dream is 1/60th of prophecy. And when we are able to trust in that way, the light that comes through our soul,
Bless you.
that, bless you, the light that comes through our soul that manifests itself in a form of a dream is an information, and it's a communication from the upper realms. And that in itself is a world of so the whole month of Kislev is to be here and yet not to be here. It's to be here, it's to be here in the physical world, but to be able to reach up and bring it in, and bring it into this world. It's to have one foot here and one foot in the upper realms. To be able to trust in that way, it's to be able to take one foot and leave it in the upper realms and say, I'm walking one foot here and one foot there, and I'm walking with you. My one of my foot is grounded and my other foot is with you, and that's where the trust comes in. To be able to, and all of us are capable of that. There is a prophet in all of us. Jacob had all the parashot that's within the month of Kislev has to do with dreams. Dream of dream of Yosef, dream of Paro, right? It has to do with dreams. And so there is a prophecy in that. And just for us to be more in tune with that, to be more in tune with our own dreams, to be more in tune with the information that's coming through us and wants to make itself through us. Again, if you look at dreams, it comes in codes and it comes in things. It's just like the rainbow, that when each one of us, through who we are, it presents itself, right? We cannot, something that we don't know cannot present itself through our mind. So it has to come through something that's known. And so it gives it a color and it gives it a shape of something that's already known to our mind. But it's like that rainbow.
But you need someone to interpret that, or you interpret it in the right way to get the message.
Yeah, you need someone to interpret it. But that's the month of the light of Hanukkah is a light that is not to be used for lighting or for lighting a room. It's a light unto itself. And why is that? Because this is the light that was from the beginning of creation, the first day. It is the light that was created on the first day. Hashem said, let there be light. It is not the light of the sun. Sun was created on the fourth day. It is a light that has everything that has come to existence and will be in existence. It is a light that carries it all. But it is just like that rainbow. that it needs the moisture in order to show the light, in order to show the colors. It's like that. And our role in here is to tap into part of that light and allow it to come through us, through our personalities, through our habits, through our gifts that we have, and allow that light to come through this way, through us. Because there is that light that was created in the beginning had all of us in it already. We were already here.
Starting route to 110 Main Street.
Route 110.
Let's go
I
there.
love you. I love you.
Right.
Let's go, Route 110. So the light of Hanukkah is not to be used for lighting, but it's to be looked at. It's to be looked at and it's to be seen what it means to you. The light of Hanukkah is the light of hope, the light of wisdom, the light of courage, the light of giving, the light of knowing. What else? The commitment, hope, faith, trust. Right? Each time we light, we are awakening all these things within ourselves, and we are awakening it within the world. So I have gone way overboard. I want to thank you all for being here. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
May you all be the lights that you ought to be.
Amen.
May you all be the lights that Hashem sees you to be.
Amen.
And may we all be able to step into it with
Amen.
great courage, with
Amen.
commitment, with knowingness, with togetherness, with great connection. The greater connection we have, the greater we can do this. By the way, the menorah, it comes from one, and it becomes 8 branches. We are one, no matter where we are branching out to. Doesn't matter. We can branch to the right, we can branch to the left, we can branch in the middle, but we are all coming from the same heart. We are all coming from the same place. So the greater our connection, the greater our light, and may we, with that conviction, be able to go forth and enjoy your lights.
Amen. Thank you. Very good.
Anybody wants to say anything, or if you want
Yes,
to
sir.
add anything, say anything, any questions, anything?
How do you reconnect to the light when you feel it has gone?
Okay, so the
Just say-
question is, how do you reconnect to the light when you have?
Yeah, is it just
It's
through
that
the
searching.
faith?
Yes, it's
And
that searching.
Yeah.
It's that. It's the trust, but it's also the searching.
So it's more
It's
search.
like, yes, like where?
And
Open it,
stretch
stretch it,
it.
stretch it.
goes away, so it's there.
It's there.
There,
It's
but it
always
just gets
there.
covered.
Yes, always there. Always there. Yeah, always there.
Stretch and again.
Yes, stretch, 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 yeah, stretch. And the stretch sometimes is a retraction. Look, the stretch is a retraction. It's not a going forward movement. It's a going backward movement. You see? One hand is forward, one hand is back. So it's, yeah. Oh my God. The letter of the month is Sameh. It is a circle. It's a circle. It's the Sameh. It's the circle is connected, but it has a yud on the outside of it.
Which is
Sameh. Sameh is it represents the light. It represents transcendent light that's outside of ourselves. We can't. It's not touchable by us. It's not tangible by us. We don't know it. We can't touch it. So I want you to imagine a circle. Just if you don't know the word samach, just imagine a circle with a yud on top of a corner. There is a whole light around it that's not touchable by us. It's not, we don't know. It's called transcendent light. It's beyond us. It cannot present itself to us. And then there is the inside of the samach, which is immanent light. That is the light that comes through us. That's, first of all, the light is always there, right? Okay, so imagine the samach. Imagine there is light all over. There is the light that's outside of it, transcendent light, and there is the light that's within it, that's immanent light. The only thing that divides it, this transcendence with immanence, is this samach, right? What is this samach? It's us. It's us. We are within it. We are both within the transcendence and immanence. What is immanence? Immanence is the light that we can touch upon it. It's the light that we see. It's the blessing that we see. And we are in a circle. Our lives is in a circle. We never know which point of the circle we are at. We don't know we are at the bottom. We don't know we are at the top. And there is no bottom, there is no top. It is the circle. It circulates itself. It's part of what it does. It's part of what it is. It's part of what it does. And so this immanent light that's within the samach, it's up to us. That's where we come in. That's where we are able to, thank you. That's where we come in, and that's where we can take the color brush and brush the inside of the samach with who we are and what we are. This is where our action and everything else comes in. But guess what happens? When we color inside of this samach, which is where our responsibility is, what happens to the outside of it? It diffuses. The light diffuses into the transcendent light. Meaning that what we are doing is affecting the transcendent light that's fully and completely beyond us. And then what happens with that? It comes back to us again. And so there is this movement of back and forth. Back and forth. Me affecting it, it affecting me. We are never separate. It looks like we are separate. If you put a cup in the ocean, that's exactly what the samach is. The water that's in the cup from the ocean is the immanent water, we call it, and the water that's outside of the cup is the rest of the ocean. If you put a drop of ink, blue ink, into this water, it diffuses out into the ocean. Yes, it doesn't fully color the whole ocean, but it diffuses out into the ocean. And so it's affecting the ocean. It's affecting the bigger ocean. Now take that and times that by infinity. It's infinite. It's infinite. And so what we are trying to do here, we are trying to contain within us something that's infinite. How is that possible? How is the light bulb possible for it to carry a light that you can't just see? How is that possible? It's possible. That's the paradox of life. For us finite beings, to carry infinite within us. And not only to carry infinite within us, but to broadcast it out. It's one thing to carry it for ourselves, but it's another to broadcast it out. And when you have light, you can never hide it. It's just not hideable. When you have light, when you have joy in your face, when you're smiling, when you're presenting yourself into the room with light, you can't hide it. It's there, it's present. And so, be the light who you are here to be. That's really...
Joy breaks every boundary.
Joy breaks boundaries.
Every boundary. And also Hashem says for us to serve Him with joy.
Correct.
So in the light, when you're in the light, you are serving with joy regardless of what you're doing, from the mundane to maybe the spectacular. but it's still being done with joy and in the light.
Correct.
And that's,
Correct. I do want to say that sometimes in life, it's not because of the circumstances that we are put in, the joy gets taken back for some time, but it doesn't mean that if the joy is hidden at that time, it doesn't mean that your light can also get hidden.
it does mean or does not mean?
Does not mean.
Agreed.
Does not mean.
Agreed.
Does not mean.
Agreed.
So I want us to be able to separate that from each other. Joy is an aspect, but it doesn't mean that it can be, that the light also, yes, the light will also, but it doesn't mean necessarily. That's why I want to separate the
It's
two.
not extinguished, basically.
Correct,
That's
correct,
the point.
correct,
Even if you're
correct.
not in a joyful state,
Correct.
your light never is distinguished.
Never,
Agreed.
never,
Amen.
never.
Could you repeat that, please?
What did I say?
Grabs it, she grabs it. You said it's simple, more simple. The last part we talked about this.
What did I just say?
Yeah, the light and the
Even-
joy, how
even
to
if
separate
you're-
light
Okay,
and joy.
joy.
Okay.
Okay, there are some times in our lives, and I think it happens with all of us because we are all human beings. Whether it comes through a pain, whether it comes through a loss, whether it comes through circumstances of our life that are just not meeting our expectations, and that in itself is painful, can be painful and take us down, and therefore we are not in a state of joy. I want to say that joy and light are not, no,
Connected.
no, hold on. I want to say that joy and light do not necessarily walk parallel to each other. It doesn't mean that if you're not in joy, or rather, it does mean that if you're not in joy, you cannot have light. I want that to be very clear.
If you're not,
You might have the light
you cannot
without
have
the joy.
light.
No, if you are not in joy, your light is still present and you can touch upon it. It doesn't mean that if you are not joyous and there are circumstances in one's life that does not allow for that joy to present itself, it doesn't mean that the light is off at all. At all. If anything, the month of Kislev teaches us and shows us exactly that when you're in a dark place, when there is darkness, when there is challenge, when there is a struggle, lit it, bring it out. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of your light. Don't be afraid of your own light, and it does not need to be with joy. That's what I want to say. Yes, it's great. There are times in our life that it's with joy. But we go through valleys and mountains and peaks, and we go through swamps, and we go through many different things in our life. We don't know what the bend brings us. But if we are going through the bend, and it's not the bend that we are at, is not joyous, it does not mean that our light goes up. If anything, that's when your light needs to come out.
I want to say that joy is something that you control, but the light you don't control. It comes naturally. I don't even think that you control your life. You cannot say, oh, this time I'm going to live. No, it's just coming. It's your personality. It's who you are.
The only thing you can control is the vessel.
Right.
Your vessel can expand. And that's why we do what we do, because we want to expand our vessel. We want to expand our awareness. And so I think it's very important for everyone to know that joy and light are not simultaneous. You can have light without joy. And that's the whole power of Kislev. That in darkness, light up your light.
Amen.
Jun, is that why the lights of Hanukkah cannot be used as a source of light?
Correct. That's part of it. Yes, correct. Correct. I think sometimes we use phrases or words that put us in a state that we think we are doing the wrong thing and we are not being who we are meant to be, or oh my God, hala, I'm having this thought, I'm bringing something. No, please, we need to stop that. We need to stop that. And we need to honor. We really need to honor wherever we are at. Wherever it is we are at, we need to honor. And part of the places that we must honor because it's part of the creation. I cannot have a breath out without a breath in. And I can't have a contraction of heart without an expansion. It just doesn't happen. And therefore we must honor wherever we are at. Whether it's good to our eyes, whether it's not good to our eyes. And honoring means honoring the dark places that we are at. And recognizing for what it is. Recognizing that this is a dark point of my life. This is a dark spot. But I have light. I have light, and I will build my light. I will build my vessel. The light is always there. It's like this sameh, the light is all around it. This transcendent light is around it. And the immanent light is within, like how I'm glowing it.
Like a heartbeat.
Yeah, like a heartbeat. But it's there, it's here. And then how do I grow my vessel? How do I grow my vessel? Joy and light are not, it's great, we must have joy. But we must honor the places of time, the times of our lives that we are in. And if it's with hardship, we must honor it. We must honor where we are at. And the month of Kislev says, there is darkness, absolutely. There is no denying it. This is the way the world was made. To deny darkness is to deny creation. This world has darkness, period. We need to own it. But it doesn't need to become us.
Trust in the light.
The darkness is there, but it doesn't need to become us. Because through us is the light that can emanate out. And the bigger we build this vessel, the bigger is the amount of light that can emanate out.
Beautiful.
Yeah? Yeah, thank you. So please.
Thank you, Faye.
I have overextended way beyond
The light came
the
on.
light,
The light
the
came
light,
on.
yes, the light of
You
the
built a
sun.
bigger